Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is the Piracy Show. And got a few things today, but starting off, while I was exploring Grim Hex, we've all been to Grim Hex a million times, and it has changed a bit since 3.0. They've obviously added the trader in there. But one thing that I found in Grim Hex, and I kind of think that maybe this is going to be where we go to buy our illegal mods to use for hacking in the Herald and whatnot, is apparently this shop right here, the hacking shop, or what I assume is going to be the hacking shop. Now it's littered with all kinds of tech gear, racks, that sort of thing. But it also has these display cases with this, I don't know, Slaver's Tea or whatever is scrawled on that. And these different mods. It's using, I guess, placeholder price tags for guns, but I have to assume that since there's already a gun shop, that that's just a placeholder, and that this place is going to be a hacker shop at some point in the future, or some place that you use to get different mods for, say, heralds and ships like that to use for electronic warfare or whatnot. Now, at one point, you could actually interact with that panel right there, but it doesn't seem to be working today. So it's a pretty cool little corner in Grim Hex. Now, hopefully we get that fleshed out, because I would like to see hacking beyond just going to, Korea and activating the console there. I would like to see hacking become like a real thing in the game. But of course, this early on, I understand if it isn't, but it'd be cool if there were a few things to hack in the near future, especially with the Herald. But moving on. Check out the view from my Cutlass. Look at this. Look at this awesome view. Look at this. I can see down in front of me a little bit. I've got this amazing view. Imagine how great it would be to fly the Cutlass from the co-pilot seat instead of the pilot seat. Now, the co-pilot, of course, he's got to manage all the ship's systems. Maybe he's got to be the gunner too. Yada, yada, yada. So, obviously, he doesn't need this little area. The pilot should be sitting here. The co-pilot should be sitting down with all these little screens and all the buttons and all the doodads, because while the pilot's flying the ship, this dude's going to have time to press all the little buttons and then, play with all the little knobs and the doodads, boop, boop, boop. This is for the co-pilot. He should be sitting down front. The pilot should be up in the back. And just before anybody says it, you already have a pilot stick in the back. So I don't know. At some point, maybe they'll free us up so we can actually swap these seats around or swap the functions. Maybe that's the plan in the future. But dude, that day can't come fast enough, because that was the first time I really got into that seat in the new Cutlass. And holy crap, I so want to be able to fly from that back seat now. Now, with that aside, I just figured we'd kind of hang out today. I mean, it is New Year's Day, and I have been playing a shit ton of Star Citizen today. Overall, I think I have close to 4 hours of gameplay in, and probably about 3 hours worth of footage. So I've been messing around with different things and going and exploring and checking out different ideas and trying out different ships to see what's good and what's not so good in 3.0. It's one of the funny things that I've found right now is just how much the Cutlass and the Freelancer are just absolutely paying off. How much enjoyment I am getting out of these ships. It's so funny that all these sales come out, and here we are talking about all these really super expensive ships and all that crap. And in the end, it's the cheaper end of ships. I mean, even let's be honest, the Avenger Titan is probably really, really good right now too. I don't have one, but I can only assume that people are getting a lot of mileage out of that one too. These are some of the best ships right now to be flying, because they do everything so well, and they've got that cargo ramp, and it's such a funny thing that the cargo ramp, which you wouldn't think would be such a big deal, has really been such an amazing feature in these ships. For instance, I returned to this site on a separate occasion with my Caterpillar. And I thought that this was going to make like a great video. I was like, oh man, what are you talking about? This wreck is in a perfect flat area awesome for landing a caterpillar, and I can go out and I can just fill up the caterpillar with all kinds of crates. I'll even take the empty ones and just toss them in. It'll be awesome. It'll be a great video. Get to showcase the caterpillar a whole bunch. People love it. Problem is, caterpillar is still buggy as fuck right now. The entire ship doesn't really land. It just kind of gently touches the ground and then slowly vibrates in one direction or another, even when it's completely powered off. And like, you can put crates on the elevator because obviously you don't have any ramps, so you got to put them all on the elevator, and they just slowly shimmy and vibrate off of the elevator. Sometimes the elevator wants to work, sometimes it doesn't, and it just became this thing of, when I came out to this site with the Cutlass, I was able to clean this site out, and even working by myself, I was able to clean this site out and then just take off and sell all this stuff. And with the Caterpillar, for the amount of time that I spent with the Cutlass, not only doing this, but then going off and doing other missions, and then going back to Grim Hex and buying guns and stuff like that, during that entire time, I was still on the ground on the Caterpillar trying to figure out how to get cargo into the Caterpillar, because the Caterpillar was such a disaster. Now, obviously, in the future, these are things that are going to get rectified. They're going to be fixed. So the Caterpillar isn't going to be that much of a problem. But right now, it seems like the Cutlass is where CIG is throwing their money. The gun rack on the Cutlass is apparently working now. I've heard it crashes the game all over the place, so I've been kind of figuring, until they get that all ironed out, I'll just let someone else step in front of that freight train. I'm not going to mess with that because I don't really need it. But yeah, I've just been having so much fun in my Cutlass. And, it brings to mind like videos I did like 2 years ago where I was like, I just can't get rid of the Cutlass. I can't justify it. I know I'm going to need it. Oh my God, dude. I love this ship. It is, it is a ship that has been badmouthed so many times, and I've always had to step up to defend it. And say, like, even back when the Cutlass conspiracy and all that shit was going on, and I was saying, look, it's not the ship that was promised, but this is still a good ship. And here are my reasons why. And, it is, dude. It is. It's such a good ship right now. Obviously, into the future, when the Caterpillar gets all worked out and I'm playing with a whole bunch of people and we can all just go out and grab crates and we don't have to worry about all the bugs, sure, the Caterpillar's going to be fine. But for just zipping around, popping around, picking stuff up, dropping stuff off, and just having fun right now, dude, the Cutlass is the bee's knees, man. Obviously, into the future, we're going to be moving up to bigger, better ships like the Reclaimer and whatnot. But for right now, man, or even if you're just a player who's just like, look, I have my own schedule. I like to kind of do things on my own. I like to play with other people from time to time, but most of the stuff I like to do on my own. Man, dude, the Cutlass is your ship, man. The Cutlass is your ship. It's the first ship I ever bought when I pledged Star Citizen, was the Drake Cutlass Black, way, way, way back when. And I have always made sure that no matter how I jockeyed things around in my hangar, this ship has been here, and I don't think it's ever going to go. Never. I can't see it unless there's an even better Drake Cutlass. But I doubt it. I really do. But moving on from the Cutlass Love Fest, earlier in the video, I showed that shop in Grim Hex, that unpopulated shop right now, that kind of looks to me like it's a bit of a tech shop. Like, it's going to end up, like those little data pads that we saw are probably going to be like viruses or something like that you can buy and you can use to hack different stuff. I would like to see some gameplay elements come in for the data runners. Not strictly speaking Herald specific missions, because that would kind of you know, I don't really think that we're at a time and a place where we can kind of create elements of gameplay that are just really focused in on only one ship can do them right now. I mean, obviously there are going to be things like mining and salvage, which are going to be more for one ship or more for one group of ships than another. But I would like to see like that kind of data theft and data running, like data as cargo. I would like to see those kinds of missions come in soon. I mean, not just for the Herald, but for, you know, any ship. Obviously, the Herald would be like the equivalent of, you know, the Caterpillar just has so much more cargo space than so many of the other ships. And if you're running data, then the Herald would be the equivalent of that. I would love to see some data running missions for the Herald. I mean, obviously there's things like the gun rack and the Herald which don't work yet and all this other stuff, but I would love to see data running missions on the Herald and, you know, other ships as well. I would like to see some of those elements brought into the game, both as, you know, the pirate side and the legitimate side, because, you know, like people gotta, you know, let's say you claim land and you got to run that information to the colony office, and the Herald is an information runner. Stuff like that. But definitely I would like to see those missions put in. I think they would be kind of like low-hanging fruit for CIG right now, something that they could incorporate possibly relatively easily. I don't know, because, you know, they'd probably want to do a whole UI for it and all this kind of stuff and not use the existing resources to incorporate that as well. But I would like to see that. That's something definitely I would like to see in the near future. But yeah, you know, I've been playing 3.0, you know, through a lot of the rough points that it's had. And I mean, even right now, I know that some people are apparently still having a lot of difficulty loading up into 3.0 and getting it to run. And I can tell you this, that even though like the footage you're seeing now is pretty smooth and pretty nice, when I start up the client the first time, my frame rates are garbage, like absolutely garbage, especially in Port Olisar. If you want to do yourself a favor, get like at least one crime stat rating. Just go park at a landing pad that you're not supposed to be parking at, just to get yourself that one crime stat rating, because then after that you log in at Grim Hex. And Grim Hex is now an armistice zone, so you don't have to worry about getting shot on the landing pad. But do that, and I find that it's easier to load in at Grim Hex than it is to load in anywhere else. And even with one crime stat rating, the authorities won't shoot at you. It's only when you have the full wheel that they really start to go after you. But yeah, if you do that, you'll probably have an easier time loading in. And even if you have to load in at Olisar because you want to take out the Starfarer, the Caterpillar, which you can't pull out at Grim Hex, just give it some time and let it settle down. To me, it seems like it's just trying to load in so much stuff so quickly that that's what's killing your frame rates. And if you just give it like a couple of minutes to settle, it gets playable, it gets a little bit better, and then by the time you get away from Olisar, it generally runs smooth as glass for me, and it sustains it for, as of today, hours. Like hours of gameplay you can get out of it now. It's at least for me, it's that stable, and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it right now. I'm having a lot of fun. In fact, I think it's time to end this video and upload it so I can go play some more. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.